Paul Wood, I appreciate you stopping by here. CEO, BTU Metals, that's BTU on the venture, and we're talking, of course, the Dixie Halo project and the TNT target specifically, but we're up in Red Lake, right next to Great Bear. We don't need to talk about their success. They've had a good run. You guys have a massive land package. This thing started in 2018, Paul, so I appreciate you stopping by here. I want you to recapture some history for me and lay out the investment thesis for BTU. What were you thinking in the last couple of years here?
Yeah, thanks a lot, and it's great to be on. We've got, I think we're one of the best set tables in the venture space right now. We're in a tremendous location. We're in the right commodities right now. We've got a huge land package in the right jurisdiction, excellent team, and two big potential company-making targets, which we're working on right now, drilling one of them. So the story started in the Red Lake area in 2018. In August of 2018, Great Bear Resources hit at the Dixie Hinge, and the rest was history for them. They went up from trading, bumping along below 50, and then they're up around $11. So over $500 million market cap right now. So we were able to get property right around the halo of their property. It was just a sliver of land. It was the first of 5 more packages that we got. So that's why we called it the Dixie Halo property. It was a halo to Great Bear at the time. Since there, it's almost a dominant position over those last 6 acquisitions, bringing us to 200 square kilometers. So what excited us is you can see on the mag even then, that their whole trend that goes from the northwest to the southeast, which has subsequently been called the LP fault, kind of bends right around. And we have a similar trend with the same kind of rocks going from the southwest to the northeast, right into their property. One of our initial advisors used to be the resident geologist for the area, and he always had this hinge offset theory suggesting that anything from Great Bear came on to our property. So we pursued that with vigor. Down to the southeast of our property, there's a totally different geology. You can see that on the mag too, and that was had 10 holes in it from Tech Corporation in the 90s. They didn't have all the property to the east that we have now. So we started testing that out, and that's where we had our TNT discovery, where we got significant amounts of copper, gold, and silver, and that we're on the hunt for the massive sulphides.
So let's get into the management team that's going to pull this off. Obviously, yourself, you've got Mike England. Why don't you run through the team there and how this is going to happen?
Yeah, so Mike in Vancouver started this off with the shell. He was instrumental in getting that first piece of property and ongoing in Red Lake and accumulating the land package, helping raise money in the early days especially. I'm leading the team. I'm M&A deal corporate strategy structure guy, and I've been at the helm of this thing for 2.5 years. Been in the mining industry about 12 years, multiple industries ahead of that. The geological team is headed up by Bruce Durham, who's a veteran of the industry. And Bruce was right there on the ground for the discoveries at Hemlo, and he ran a lot of those projects in the early days, which became another hugely prolific gold-producing area in Canada. So we're also supported by some independent directors. Vic Bradley is the chairman of our board. He was the founder of the original Yamana, and he was also chairman of a few of the Cisco group of companies. And also we have Margot Naughty, who ran resources for Canada Pension Plan. So a very, very solid team from the ground right through to the board. So well, with them, we've been able to attract increasingly strong hands as investors. So we think we're just building the legs to this story right now, which is going to be really long and big.
Yeah, so let's dig into the current day here. We mentioned TNT. Drills are starting to turn there. Why don't you kind of run into what's going on right now?
Yeah, so TNT, we call it TNT because it's huge, and also TN. Tech had it at one point, and Noranda had it at one point. So Tech, Noranda, Target. And so we were drilling along to the east of where Tech drilled, And this is where we hit this copper, silver, gold. So we hit up to 5.5% copper, 2 grams gold, and 3 ounces of silver. And we immediately flew a VTEM survey and scoped the size of this. And then it looked to be at least 800 meters north-south. Now it looks more like 3 kilometers north-south, half a kilometer at least east-west. So we drilled a grid, and we're seeing chalcopyrite in all of that to varying degrees. And that shows what a big system this is. Now, in a VMS type system, what you're chasing, the hunt is for the massive sulphides. So VMS stands for volcanogenic massive sulphides. So when we drilled the grid, we were able to go downhole and do some geophysics, and that pointed us to where the most conductive areas are. And so massive sulphides and chalcopyrite, highly conductive. So we're looking for the most conductive part. And we've identified an area which is 10 times more conductive on the Siemens scale to what we hit in that original hole where we got the 5.5% copper, etc. So we're drilling that right now. It starts about 300 meters below surface, and it's 800 by 800 meters. That's just one panel that we're chasing. So this is huge and significant.
The TNT is not the only target, though. You mentioned one before. Why don't you run through what else you have there?
Yeah. So while we're doing TNT, while we're drilling TNT, the prospectors are working back up on the gold area with that whole southwest to northeast trend that I was talking to you about earlier, the one that seems sort of an offset or almost a mirror image of the LP fault that Great Bear has. So what we're doing, we're in the process of building up the story where we identified gold up and down that trend. So we've done that at surface. So with grab samples in situ, we've had 7 grams per ton, 13 grams per ton. We had multiple ounces of silver as well, actually. Interesting, we've had multiple ounces of silver in both the project areas. So we've done till samples as well, where you go down below surface, above bedrock, and test the till to see how many grains of gold there are. The lab comes back, tells you how many grains. And we've gotten some amazing results there. Up to 120 grains, which is a good result. More interestingly is 99 of those in that sample were pristine. So what that means is they are angular, which means they haven't moved far from their original source. So we can, with a high degree of confidence, say the source is on BTU land on that long southwest-northeast trend. So we're building evidence to that. The geo team is back on the ground right now. It's a great time to be there because the snow's melted, so you can actually see areas of outcrop and start to get more evidence as to where to go next. So with further till samples, further IP, and the rest of it, we'll set up our drill program to go back to that whole area to chase the high-grade gold. So working both legs of the stool at the same time.
Excellent. Let's turn the page here to the financial side of the company, and I know as an investor I'm always looking for something very liquid to be in. BTU is very liquid. Let's talk about the makeup of the company and the treasury and how many shares are out and all that.
So you said at the beginning we're traded on the TSX Venture under symbol BTU. We are very liquid stock. We trade pretty much average of 1 million shares a day across all the exchanges because we're an exciting story. We're increasingly getting eyes on, and we've had near-term catalysts for a number of months now, and we continue for that to continue and accelerate even. TSXV put us in the Venture 50 last year, so we're in the top 50 stocks. They named us top miner of the year for 2019. So we're in good shape. It's a very liquid stock for something of this size. Our market cap's about 20 million. Great Bear, $500 million. There's the arbitrage that we're looking to close, and that's just on the gold side. TNT is all that and potentially more on top of that. We're funded for this drill program. Our spend on the SG&A side is very modest. It's $30,000 a month all in, and the rest goes into the ground.
Again, as an investor here, Paul, there's a lot of companies out there, and you've certainly made a great case here for BTU. If you know anything about mining, it's certainly Red Lake. You're paying attention and Great Bear's success. What makes BTU different when these investors are looking around for this opportunity? Obviously, liquidity is big. Again, these catalysts, you've kind of already answered my questions, but in your own words, what differentiates you guys from the rest?
Like I said at the outset, I think we've set the table as almost as well as anybody could in this market. But from the very beginning, we built up a strong team. We were able to grow the team on the strength of the team as we got more good land packages. And we were able to get more good land packages as we built up the quality of the team. Then the exercise was really to demonstrate that we can raise money and we can run disciplined programs on the ground. And we did that since August of 2018. So incrementally a little bit better all the time, and that's off the back of being able to show the momentum of acquiring 6 packages, doing the non-drilling prep work like low altitude, high res, mag, IP, all of the rest of it. And by July of 2019, we were already drilling and been basically drilling ever since. So momentum, jurisdiction, team, hopefully with a tailwind from this market as well, because these commodities seem that they may be finally turning, which would be nice not to have to swim upstream for a bit.
Absolutely. And I think the last thing I'd have is just maybe give investors a little glimpse into the future. What can they expect to see next out of BTU?
Well, we're drilling right now, so the results at TNT will be the next news, and whatever we find up in the prospecting on the gold side, because there's a lot there's a big property to survey, and we may find some interesting things there while we're just prospecting. But it's the drill results, it's finding those massive sulphides at TNT. That's the near-term huge catalyst.
Okay. That's Paul Wood. He's the CEO of BTU Metals, BTU on the venture. Paul, certainly look forward to tracking your success and appreciate that update.
Thanks very much, Rob. See you soon.